Today I want to really hone in on a thought I've had probably for about 2 weeks now. One of chess versus checkers. I really feel like the reason some of us are at a disadvantage is because while everyone else is playing chess, we are still playing checkers. When you look at chess versus checkers, I once heard someone speak of it in reference using this quote that chess is looking across a vast ocean while checkers looking down a well. Obviously, the differences are monumental. It's interesting because on the surface, chess and checkers may look alike to one who doesn't pay attention to detail. And I really want us to begin to pay attention to detail as we look at our political landscapes, our social landscapes, as we look at what's going on, the reason some of us are being left behind, bamboozled, swindled, manipulated, whatever it is you want to say, is because we've looked at the board but haven't noticed the details. Both chess and checkers, they are played on an 8x8 board with alternating squares. Both of them are two-player games, meaning one player plays against another. It's a competition, if you will. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. If you're talking about checkers, the black moves first. Interesting enough. When you're talking about chess, the white piece moves first. When you look at chess, it has less pieces. Well, I take that back. It has more pieces spread across the first two boards. In checkers, they're spread across three rows. But the difference is very simple in that even though in checkers they're spread across the three rows, in chess you're only spread across two rows, when you look at the movement of the individual pieces, there is no comparison. What do you mean by that? In chess, there are 6 different pieces, and all of them have different movements. The king moves different from the queen. The rook moves different from the knight or the bishop. They move differently, and to master the game, you must know the movements of each particular piece. In checkers, they all move the same, quite honestly. They move diagonally. In checkers, all you're trying to do is make sure you have the most pieces on the board, or that you've captured most of your opponent's pieces. I find it interesting because it's a game of quantity, if you will. On the other side, chess, the only way you win is by catching the king. You must put the king in checkmate. And so it's not a game of quantity at all, but it's a game of quality. Again, the subtle differences as many times some of us are going after quantity. How much stuff can I get versus quality? What is the essence of the stuff that I get? I'm frustrated because what I see oftentimes are people who tend to treat us as if we are those that are professional checker players, but not very good at chess. And so I'll give you some shiny things, and hopefully you'll be fooled to believe that I've actually given you something of value. I don't care if you remove statues and remove flags. If you don't remove the systems that old statues and old flags represent, then you haven't done anything at all. I'm more concerned with the present and the future than I ever will be with the past. And that's not to negate the past, because the past is important. However, if we continue to live in the past, then we'll never allow ourselves to move into the future. I'm not interested in people trying to placate, trying to assuage my emotions, if you will. I am interested in true transformative change. And so, what I would urge all of us to do is look at what's going on in the world. Look at so-called concessions that are being made to our community. Look at what are the true motives of people and decide that you are not going to be fooled, that you're not going to be stuck in checkers rather, while everyone else is playing chess. What good is it that we get a couple $1,000,000 and we still don't own anything? What good is it that we get some voting rights and neither party will represent us? What good is it that in name we have equality, but in practice I can look in every statistical category, every health outcome across the board, and still see that many of us are still in the bag, started from the bottom, and we're still here. I think that the time has come for us to really, as they used to tell us in school, put on our thinking caps and allow our actions to line up with rational and deliberative thought. Otherwise, we will always be taken for granted. Otherwise, we will always be marginalized. Otherwise, we'll continue going in circles around the mountain, but we'll never cross into the finish line. I want to talk specifically to people of faith now, as I say that the church has got to be more about shouting. The church has got to be more about getting more than getting cars or material things. The church has got to answer the question, saved from what? Because heaven is great. But the Bible that I read allows me to know that our God intends us to have life and life more abundant, not just in the life to come, but the life right here and right now. And so again, we've got to recalibrate. We've got to refocus. We've got to set some goals. We've got to have an agenda. We've got to move towards some tangible things. We've got to get out of checkers and become proficient at chess. Our communities are depending on it.